All right, let's talk about this concept of the content wrapper. So this is a really, really cool concept that if you can understand, will make it really easy for you to plan your editorial side of your business. Okay, so the concept of a wrapper is that you can take a certain type of content or a certain wrapper and wrap it around any content type and around any topic. So here are some classic content wrappers. So you have the list, all right? People love lists, and you can create lists of just about anything. So any category of content that you're creating at your company, you can create lists around it. So you can create a list of resources like books, events, other people's posts, right? Tools like apps and software and technology. You can build lists of tips, right? So let me just give you a quick bulleted list of tips. Let me give you a list of stats. Okay, so statistics are a great thing to create lists around. And then you can create lists of people or brands, like here's the most influential people in our space, or the top experts, or the newest people on the scene, or newest brands in this category. But you see what I mean, that you can create lists around just about any topic, and you can wrap that type of content around that. So think about it. Could you create a list of books, for example, that you would deliver through a podcast, that you would deliver in an image, that you would deliver as a blog article, right? Are you seeing this concept and how powerful it is? When you're planning your editorial, you can say every other Tuesday, we're going to put out a list wrapper, all right? So it's going to be, a podcast, and we're going to do a list of books that pertain to this category that's connected to our business. So that is the first and most, powerful type of content wrapper. You can see Digital Marketer using this here. DM's reading list, 11 copywriting book recommendations from Engage members. So this is literally user-generated content also, right? So it's an example of Digital Marketer letting the users, in other words, their customers, give them a bunch of copywriting book recommendations and then just aggregating them together into a blog post. Okay, really, really great use of the list wrapper, and also a great example of user-generated content. So another wrapper, and especially is great for folks that are needing to establish themselves as the authority in their space and build a lot of trust that they know what they're doing. So consultants, coaches, service-based businesses, even software companies and e-com companies can run how-to type content and you can wrap just about any topic and just about any type of content, podcast, video, image, into a how-to. All right, let's talk about some characteristics of the how-to content wrapper. So, you're just going to want to show them how to execute on some kind of a process from end to end, right? So, what this does for you is it establishes you or your brand as an authority. So again, if you're looking to become more trustworthy and provide value, the how-to wrapper is a great one. Lowe's and Home Depot and other, these guys use the how-to for a lot of purposes, but one of them is literally to build themselves as the authority in the home improvement space. So, you got Lowe's here saying, Lawn Care 101, how to weed, seed, feed, mow, and water your lawn, right? So really simple. Show somebody how to do something from end to end and establish your brand or yourself as the authority in the space. Now, another wrapper that you can use, and again, you can use this in podcasts, you can use it in videos, you can use it in images, is the answer wrapper. All right, so literally you're just going to answer questions that your customers are asking. All right, and a great place to go to ask, hey, what are the customers concerned with? What are they worried about? Is to ask your support team, or if you are the support team, look at your support tickets, look at what people are asking about, complaining about, and then ask your sales team, all right, what should we create content about? What do they need? And let's just go ahead and answer that. Okay, so your customers should be asking questions, right? There are questions that your sales team or your support team might be like, I wish they were asking this question, and they're not asking a question. So create answer posts and create the answer wrapper around things they should be asking. And You can also create the answer post around questions that your customers are asking Google. All right. So people go to Google and they literally type in questions. And so, go in there and do some keyword research and figure out what are people typing in? What questions are they asking to Google, and answer those using the answer wrapper. And again, wrap this type of content around podcasts, videos, images, whatever you want to do. So here's an example of a great content marketing brand called Ellevest. And here's just an Instagram post where they're using the answer wrapper, right? And they're using it as a social update, right? They're going out there, they create a nice image. It says, "Dear Ellevest, I want to compare salaries with other people, except it's so weird. How do I bring this up? And who do I bring it up with? Sincerely, cautious but curious," right? So it's the classic, Dear John or whatever it is type question here. And then you see that not only does Ellevest answer the question over in the Instagram comments, but it gets their entire community involved, and they all start a discussion around this excellent question. That is the answer wrapper. Now, another great wrapper is the interview. You can wrap interviews around podcasts, images, text articles. You can do them in social media channels. So you can use social updates. You can use videos, of course. Okay, you can publish interviews with, experts in your space, customers that you have, partners, employees are great to interview. All right, so take a look at what Intercom, a great content marketing company, they're in the software space, is doing here. They have a podcast, and they just keep bringing on guests and interviewing them. And so they're using the interview wrapper. They're wrapping it around a podcast as the content type, and then they're just bringing in different topics, all right? So again, this concept of planning your editorial, like what are we going to produce and when, you want to start with the wrapper. Like, what is this content's format going to be? Is it going to be an interview? Is it going to be a how-to? Is it going to be lists? Is it going to be what, right? And then create your editorial calendar around those wrappers and just keep dropping new topics into that certain wrapper. All right, another classic wrapper is a news wrapper. All right, so you're going to be timely with this type of content. Now, this one's a tough one to pull off, and you're going to need to plan ahead, right? You're going to need to be set up to react to what's going on currently, right? And that's a different setup than most different types of editorial. But if you want to be part of this concept of being new or novel and reacting to what's going on around you, you can be timely by publishing about trends that are going on in your space, issues like social issues or political issues. You could be timely around product or feature reviews that your products are experiencing, events, right? So events are always happening in your space, perhaps, and if they are, you can produce content around those events as they're happening. All right, so a really, really great content wrapper there. Now, let's take a look at Barclaycard and how they're using the news. All right, so it says here, how are merchants responding to the GDPR? So this is a blog post or an article on their blog. And it says, how are merchants responding to the GDPR and PSD2 regulations? Okay, so this is timely. This is a newsy type post that they are literally saying, okay, this is what's happening. Our market cares about this. Let's go ahead and produce content around that. All right, so as I said, you're gonna wrap any content type about any topic. Okay, so you're gonna take one of these wrappers or another wrapper. There's a ton of them. When you sit down and think about it, you're essentially thinking about what is the format of this post type. And then you're gonna go in and wrap that around blog posts or podcasts or video or social updates or images. And then you can drop any topic that you want into that wrapper.